Here's the deal. Millions of miles traveled across the globe. Thousands of concerts attended. Hundreds of thousands of records and concert tickets sold as a music store owner. Some people listen to music. Some actually live the life and survive to tell the tale. This is the autobiographical life story and rock and roll adventures of Max Baker Jr. Sponsored by MedCards Made Easy. Visit MedCardsMadeEasy.net and the Fabulous Baker Boys. Always hiring. For more information, call 405-417-7656. This is the Here's the Deal podcast with Max Baker Jr.
I am Max Baker Jr., and this is my story. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Jelly Roll, and here's the deal.
Yo, this is Big Dad Rich, the Band of Outlaws, THC, Texas Hippie Coalition. And
Here's the deal.
Hey, this is Jeff Keith from Tessa, and here's the deal.
Hello, I'm Charlie Crockett, and here's the deal.
What's good? My name is Yellow Wolf, Catfish Billy, and here's my pool stick in your grill, and here's the deal.
Hi, this is Joey Ramone here, and when I'm in Oklahoma, I party with
Yeah, that's right. You party with me.
With Mad Max. Mad Max. With
Mad Max.
With 2 D's and 2 X's.
Don't ever forget it.
We are back with another episode of the Here's the Deal podcast, the Max Baker Jr. story. And I have no idea where we left off, Jeff. It's been a long time.
I do.
Where'd we leave off?
We left off at for people out there listening, we ended season 1 with the Rocklahoma story.
No, season 2.
Season 2.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was season 2?
Yes.
Season 2.
Season 2. Well, now we're on season 3?
Yes. And these aren't like cable television seasons, which are like 8 episodes. These are a full 52, full 52 weeks worth of episodes.
Which, if we go 52 and 52, that's 104. So this must be episode 105.
Maybe.
Well, how many hidden episodes are in there?
1.
Shit, I don't know, man. We've got so much on the hard drive. It is ridiculous.
People out there that follow us and listen to us, hit your like and share button and go to our new YouTube channel. What is it, Jeff?
It's Here's the Deal podcast.
Yeah, but what's this call letters?
No, it's youtube.com/Here's the Deal OK.
That's to go to the website.
Yeah, or you can go to the website.
Yeah, here, I'll make it easy for everybody. Here's the deal OK.com. HERESDEAL OK.com. You go to that website, and there's going to be links to everything. To
the
like
podcast.
And share and follow us.
Yeah, there's the podcast is on there, YouTube channels on there.
Yep,
all of it's on there, right?
All of the links from Apple Podcast to Amazon Podcast to Spotify to you name it. The YouTube channel, it's all right there. Here's the deal. OK.com.
105 of those babies.
What?
There's what was the latest episode that got released on YouTube, Jeff?
It was the end of season 1.
Okay, so for everybody out there, we record video and audio for every single one of these episodes that we do. But we didn't really know what we were going to do with the video part of it. We knew we were going to put it on YouTube at some point, but we just weren't ready for all of that yet.
But
And
we knew we should record it.
We knew that it needed to be recorded. So Jeff has taken on this huge undertaking.
Project.
Wow.
I mean, if you seen Jake's filing, you'd know why.
I literally just leave the stock name that the recorder gives it and copy it over.
I got to give Jeff props.
It doesn't give it a name. It gives it numbers.
Yeah, it's its own numbering system.
See, you're laughing. You're laughing like you know that you were setting up a nightmare.
No.
Oh, yes, you were, Jay Pitts. I'm calling you out. You were setting up a nightmare.
I didn't, because we weren't doing anything with the video, so I was just copying stuff over. I wasn't paying attention.
Just so you thought. Me and Jeff had bets on this. As we dug down into it and got to the bottom of it, the only way to go when you're at the bottom is climb back to the top.
When a card would get full on the camera, I would copy all of those files over into my Max Baker podcast file.
Hold on, and do you know what he named those files whenever he did that?
Nada.
No, he called them Video Dump 1, Video Dump 2.
Oh.
And there could be anything on those video dumps because sometimes we switch out cards if we're getting ready to run out. And so,
but here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
105 episodes later, you know what? We could have quit. We could have gave up.
Well, hold on.
But you figured something out, and now we're able to show the past of where it's gone to where we are now.
So guess what?
What?
I found a total of 13 missing episodes.
You found them?
Poof.
Dump. What was it? Video dump number 2?
Well, no, like Jay said, there's some that were just under Max podcast, and some just had a date on it.
But
one had Max and Kids Christmas, and that was like, I know what that one is. That was the only one that had
where
a real
you start,
But so I found, if you'll remember, we did like 4 or 5 episodes in the Blue Bus.
Yes.
And we thought all of them were gone.
Right.
And so,
wow.
So I found 4, and I'm still hoping you've got the 5th one. The 5th one I'm looking for is the one with Chip.
With Chips and up.
Yeah. I don't have the video for that. But I found 4 episodes on the bus, and we went back and we re-recorded a lot of that stuff. And so there's some stories that are in the one that came out for everyone to hear, and then there's some stuff that we left out when we went. And there's some stuff.
And that's where our shorts, and Jeff has come up with an idea, and we're going to be going off into it, doing short stories, and
I love the clips you've been putting up on the YouTube, Jeff, because I've been creating the reels that are on the Facebook page.
Correct.
But there are limitations. You have to be.
You're stuck in a lot of non-funds.
Here's what I'll say for both of y'all. And Jeff made a good point about it. You're doing the AI route, more or less, and he's old school to where
all the AI is doing is taking a section in time out of that and creating captions.
Because what you have like 3 different time frames you can work with on Facebook.
And then what I'm going through is I'm going through there and I'm highlighting words from the transcript and deleting that from the video, and it's putting it all together, and then I'm framing it all up. But I have to keep it 90 seconds or under. Right. So I have to cut a bunch of stuff out to keep it under 90 seconds. Whereas these stories, these clips that you've been putting up on YouTube,
don't have to stay to the 90-second
Some of them are 5 minutes. Some of them, they're really great.
I think both of y'all are doing a great job.
Well, thanks, Max. We're both trying really hard. We thank you for doing real hard with coming up with content.
I'm just a guy,
Yes, you are.
Here's the deal.
But you give us a lot of content.
So
all right. So we typically start off with noticing what T-shirts everybody is wearing, because we all seem to wear crazy T-shirts when we show up to this. So Max, what are you wearing today?
I got the legendary Ronnie Van Zant.
Dude, where did you get that?
I got this picture. Like I said, I always talk about Facebook and the shirt things they send me. Just one of those finds,
That's a great one. And Jeff, you're wearing a tour shirt. So I've never heard of that band. Stones?
No, the Stone. Now they're called the Stones. We know them as the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, so this is official merchandise because it just says Stones on it.
Why did you ever find out why that happened?
Nope. I think it's another marketing ploy to where, here's the thing. We'll get into that later. But my deal on that is I think the people behind them, the machine they have, they went to the Stones modern because, think about it, most people have Rolling Stone shirts.
Well, they probably already sold the rights to merchandising to the name.
Well, hold on. There's both. So there are Stone shirts that you can get. That's what you can get at the actual show this year. When you go, there's actual Stone shirt. But they also have Rolling Stone shirts for the same shows that you get outside the venue. But the Rolling Stones are behind both sets of shirts.
And then, like the one he's wearing from the first day that we went in Houston, you couldn't get them at any stand, or if you did, they just sold out so quick.
Same with the poster. There was such
Same way with the poster.
Because we both wanted more.
They're smart. They were smart enough to, when the show's over now, in every city they play, they release the shirt and the video. I mean, and the poster.
Yeah.
And so I bought
set
them.
list, and you can get a Ronnie Wood set list.
Right.
That he hand does, like he did for the last couple of tours.
Aaron, Clutch. What tour?
I don't think it's when they started doing those Weathermakers series recordings. I bought it off of.
How many times you seen Clutch in Oklahoma?
5 or 6, maybe 10.
What's on the back?
It's the.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
let me ask you a question about Clutch. When was the first time you saw Clutch?
Off that first record, when they were like Ugly Stick back then. Remember how Dim and Ugly Stick were a lot
Didn't you
the
see
same?
them?
Was it
Clutch played at? Wasn't it Sepultura? Clutch.
And there was a third one.
That was at Alcatraz.
Yep.
That was the first time I seen them.
I saw them not long. They opened for COC in Dallas.
Yes.
Saw that tour and just a million times. Every time they come around, you know what sucks? The last 2 times they've been was the last 2 times I was in Kuwait.
Wow.
So I got my wife called me the next day. Good show, babe.
As a concert promoter, and being able to say this, I was able to book that band in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Springfield.
Yeah.
And watch them get successful.
So, yeah, Clutch has an interesting guy as their tour manager. Have you ever met Oscar?
No.
You've met Oscar.
I love Oscar.
Oscar is the greatest guy that you could ever imagine.
Here's the thing. When you're doing tours and, they have a tour manager, they can be the greatest guy on earth or they can make your life hell. And with this dude, Oscar, though,
he's kind of like Peter Grant. He really looks out for his band.
Nothing really seemed to faze him. If you've done the bands as much as times as myself and Jeff, you get to knowing what they want. You look at their rider and you can tell what they want, what you're going to mark off, or if they'll take a buyout for it. But, nothing phases that dude.
And he looks out for his band just like the Peter Grant did for Led Zeppelin.
He's been with them a long time.
3 or 4 record tours ago when they came through, we've learned through doing shows and everything, if you hang out the right places afterwards, bide your time, you can meet them. So my wife watches Food Network constantly, that and HGTV. She's watching, I don't know if you remember a show 5 or 6, 7 years ago called Ace of Cakes. Is this lady and this guy, they're making all these cakes. In one of the episodes, she goes, I want to make this cake for my brother, but it needs to look like an orange amp. Well, it turns out the brother was Neil Fallon.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this whole thing. So we hang out afterwards. She goes, well, I want to talk to you. So she goes over and she says, oh, my God, I love your sister. Neil Fallon is just blown away by the fact that. So they sit aside. He goes and gets some couple drinks. Those two sit and shoot the shit about cakes and his sister. Everybody else is like,
it's your wife, Aaron. Yeah. Leave it to her.
Yeah. To come up with something, the most non-rock and roll thing. Let's talk about cakes.
The cool thing about that, and I've had people, Clutch is one of them. They like to know what's going on in town. They're very, to a city they go to, they're keen with it. They know.
They want to see local establishments, local restaurants.
Beers.
Yeah.
As opposed to one of those bands that just sits on the bus all day and peeks out the window.
No, they want to go sightseeing. They want to see the city.
Which is the way to do it if you're on tour.
Yeah,
if you go anywhere,
vacation,
check
bro.
stuff out. Don't just stay on the bus.
So
how boring.
Announce our guest, Jay.
Yeah, we got rolling. We didn't even introduce him. So for this episode,
Everyone knows who he is.
we have brought on Aaron Korstjens, who is the lead singer for the band Horse Called War.
That's what.
And
Appreciate
Two
it.
A's and one K.
Two A's, yeah.
You're 2 D's and 2 X's. You're 2 A's and 1. Okay.
and we wanted to bring Aaron on because he has literally listened to every single episode of this podcast. And I believe there were 32 episodes. How many weeks were you in Kuwait?
So 2 different times, 6 months, both times.
6 months.
Yeah, but I think the first time the show went out, so it would have been
Almost 50.
yeah.
Almost 50 episods.
So that was all in the first season.
All of the listens from Kuwait are courtesy of Aaron Korstjens right here.
I remember listening. So I got to thank you guys because it was such a taste of home to hear my friends. And then we're talking about all the stories and everything. And it was just every week. I couldn't wait for the podcast to come out. And on Sundays we were off. I'd put my earbuds in and I'd go for a walk around the base and listen to the podcast. And it just was... It was just, made me feel like I was right here with you.
So,
you go.
Aaron, you've been into the local music scene in Oklahoma City for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And so my first question for you is, what was the first band that I booked that you were in to play a local show?
Ethic Cult. I played bass in Ethic Cult.
Okay.
And we played... was it Rock City off of I-35?
Yeah.
We played there.
That was 92.
That's 92.
92.
Yeah.
Was that with Gangster Stroll?
I think it was with Judge and Jury.
Judge and Jury?
I think it was with Judge and Jury and Forte.
And the Ethic Cult people, they had a monster drum kit.
Yes. Yeah. And do you remember all 3 of those kick drums were just shells?
Right.
Because he played. We were the first band that I can think of in the city that used triggered bass drums. And so he just had his pedals with the beater, and it hit like a piece of plastic, and that went back to an Alesis D4, and that went right out to the board.
So, after Ethic Cult, what was next?
Hold on a second. So, when you guys played Rock City, you played with Forte, right?
Yes.
Was that the time that Greg had to go in and build a bigger drum riser
Yes.
and make everything bigger than Ethic Cult?
Yeah. That's when it came to the riser and all that.
Huge riser so that his
He didn't
drums
want
would
no
look
opening
big.
band showing him up.
I remember that.
Here's the thing.
You couldn't show up Forte in those days, no matter how hard.
Well,
they tried.
Greg would get so
Playing
intense.
him, though, you never were going to get that going in 15 minutes. I mean, because the kit was massive.
Oh, and he had all this. He had it all built up tall.
And no matter how much we tried to pre-build that thing, but we'd get there for load in, and it's like every time we'd see you and your guys.
Oh shit! Here
Yes.
it comes.
I forget. It's like you'd forgotten
You got that band with that drum kit again.
Goddamn. Well, and our singer at the time wasn't the easiest guy to get along with either. Do you remember after a while when you realized I come in, we'd kind of become friends? We started dealing with each other and to do shows and.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing about dealing with bands. Period. You find out who's their leader, or who can conduct business, because that's where a lot of people out there today, and that I've dealt with. Jeff can be my. They come in, and you know what? You're giving them an opportunity to play on a national act, and they don't know. There's 2 things that happen. They continue to not know professionalism and what to do and how to do it, or they learn that this is a great opportunity, and you're not every day. There's how many opening acts do you think you played for since playing
40,
music?
50.
National acts.
Yeah, probably 40 or 50. It's been a lot. And every one of those we learned something a little more by.
Out of those 50 or whatever, just name a few of them.
Well, we started with Wasp, and then the OTEP show, Suffocation and Behemoth, and that, you talk about being fish out of water. Do you remember, I got hit with a bottle of that show. We were more like a Black Label Society band at that show, and we had one song, a super ballady song that had like keyboards in it. And
Not keyboards.
Come out, and the guitar player starts playing the keyboard. And this place, and half of this crowd played. We did the show with these death metal guys. Their backs to us. That whole thing. And this one guy turns around, those keyboards kick in. He goes, "You effing poser!" And I've just started the verse, and I thought I could move, or I could just keep singing. I was like, I'm gonna keep singing. He's not, and that thing just boom. And then like third song that said, it busted me open. We just kept playing, and I just kept, toweling it off. Afterwards, he comes up, man, much respect, bro. You just kept on. And I was like, I don't care about your respect, dickhead. You hit me in the bottle. OTEP was soon after that. Gosh, I think we did a hate breed show for you.
Now, were these all with Ethic Cult?
No. None Ethic Cult.
When did Horse form?
We formed as a cover band in 02, and then we became all original in 03. We did a Battle of the Bands thing, and some guy that built shows for you saw us.
Right. So wait. What did you do between 92 and Ethic Cult and 02 with?
So Ethic Cult split up in 95. Our last show was that bombing memorial thing we did downtown. That was Ethic Cult's last show, and then from 95 to 2001 or so, I didn't do anything. Raise kids. Coach soccer, those kind of things. Then Horse grew out of a cover band called Fat Daddy because we were all overweight dads. And no kidding, one of the wives said, "You guys should call yourselves Fat Daddy with 2 T's."
There you go.
So we did Cool Daddies and Samurai and all those bands.
Fat Daddies at Cool Daddies.
Yeah,
Are
Fat
you
Daddy
serious?
and Cool Daddies. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that makes sense.
And then we got to where we were doing more and more originals. Like I said, we did this Battle of Bands thing. One of your guys saw us, and then we kind of completely stopped the cover scene and dove headfirst into trying to do Max shows and the big showcases and all the nationals. And then we started getting out and playing Tulsa and Dallas, and it just grew from there.
Well, I mean, you're influential. You were one of the bands that I took to Tulsa that played at Cain's.
Yep, and we had a bus full of fans. Remember that? We did the chart. We've stole so many ideas from Max Baker how to do things over the years.
Okay, so I remember when you guys did that.
Yep.
But
shout out Stephanie. Stephanie Mathis used to work for you.
Oh, Stephanie.
She was our booking agent at that point.
And you guys rented a bus for your fans from Oklahoma City to come up there?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, filled that thing up, and it was like you could bring an ice chest on, and I'm telling you, those people threw it the hell down all the way up to Tulsa.
Listen, bus trips back in the day were legendary.
They were the thing to do.
And the cool part about it is you showing up, rolling up with the busload of people getting out, 50 people walking through the door. You're showing the Tulsa scene, too, because, like, everybody didn't think selling the ticket idea worked or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you're one of the ones that not only showed them, but did well with it and showed a way, too, how you could make money.
Yeah.
It's a business. It's
And build a following. I mean, that's how you build a following.
Listen, it's not just because you play songs by AC/DC and you play songs by Guns N' Roses and you're a tribute act, or you're just a cover band. And, the thing about it is, back in the day, now they call them tributes, but they were cover bands. Samurai, Split T, places that played them. And you know what? You had a following, and the club had a little following. Nowadays, you're not going to make it if you play AC/DC music and you don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, see, it was back then. See, it started off where there was cover bands, and then then everybody wanted to hear original stuff, and now it's back to tribute acts or cover bands.
Dude, the tribute bands are drawing like crazy right now. It's unbelievable how many there are for every band, every style, every major band you can think of. There's a tribute
act for every band in all points of the country.
I'm sad that I missed the Steely Dan tribute band that played at Beam Live the other night.
It'll come back around.
I would have liked to have seen that.
I mean, and two,
does that make you think how far ahead of the game you were when you were putting together like the Man in Black or your?
Oh yeah,
he wears black.
I knew it would work.
Johnny Cash
the Johnny
tribute.
Cash one. You know, but the difference between tribute, I didn't ever want to call mine a tribute. I wanted to call it a celebration to the music of Johnny Cash. You know, because that's what it was. But
kind of like how Van Halen's doing this
you
thing.
know, you wanted to keep it as authentic as possible. You know, just like, you know, I'm not saying all these tributes are bad. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You know, I mean, look as to me, when you tell me you're going to do a tribute, you got to look like them, you got to sound like them, and you got to move around if they move around on stage.
You got to have their mannerisms down. All
right.
Of that.
You know, I mean, that's why I hardly ever go see any Rolling Stones tribute bands, is because if you can't do Mick, you shouldn't be up there. And if you can't do Keith, you know, I mean, it's good to hear the music, but you're just nothing more than a cover band.
So it was like that when we did the White, the last show at Rock City. It was a Led Zeppelin cover band, and the promo packs, because I used to send out promo packs in the day. The promo pack had a guy that looked like Robert Plant, and there was a guy that kind of looked like Jimmy Page, and they had on the right outfits and everything. But when it comes to day of show,
didn't get
the Jimmy Page guy was like 6'8" or something, and the Robert Plant guy was like 4'3", and yeah,
it's kind of like when I did my strip shows and I'd send out a poster. That's why I went to asses, because I got my ass chewed out every time I went, and didn't have the girls on the picture. So, you know, I mean,
how pervy is that? Dudes are mad because they had already picked out some girl from a poster. Jesus.
But, you know, like another thing with Horse.
With no game.
You know, when Horse Called War, I can remember a band, this is a 2008, and I can remember, you know, you were doing a local show at the Diamond, and we had, I forget the guy's name, but we had some people that wanted to fly into Oklahoma City. At that time, myself and Brad White had taken on THC, the Texas Hippie Coalition. And I'm doing it because Brad wanted me to. I had no idea, never seen him, never figured out I need to play him live and book him. So I had them open for you at the Diamond Ballroom, and that's where they had a couple of people come in and see them and were interested. You know, and that got the ball rolling. But I can remember all our promo videos we'd send out had the Horse Called War banner.
Yeah, their first video, Horse Called War, and I was like, free advertising. Yeah, we'd been talking to those guys through MySpace. You know, connections you made on MySpace, and talked about, you know, doing some stuff, and then it just all kind of worked out. We ended up had already done one or two shows with them. One was out something called Coffee Creek thing, not Coffee Creek, the golf course, but
hey, I just, like I said, how I got that band was their guitar player at the time came to my office and sit for 5 hours in front of my thing, waiting to talk to me. And you know, I'd come to the point where I was doing this casino thing now, and you know, we just had success with Rocklahoma, and you know, I'm like, man, I don't know if bands are going to be the way to go. Because all the bands that I ever worked with, or put my heart and soul into it, you know, from like Oliver Magnum, couldn't give them what they needed. Forte took them to a certain level, but same thing, you know, their vision and my vision was completely different. And then Element, you know, we were so close. Not that, you know, with Forte we got it, we had it, but they never did the next step to being touring. They could have been huge. Oliver Magnum, you know what? They were already there, and when the guy took them further than I could have. But you know, by the time it was time to work with the hippies, I didn't want no part of band. You know, I'd tell people, nah. And then they made me like Then Rocklahoma came in 2008, and they made me. I got to pick all the side stage bands, and so we ended up having 106 bands.
Right.
And they were the hippies were the first one I booked, sight unseen, just because the guy figured if the guy can sit out here for 4 or 5 hours, he deserves a shot, And but as far as the local scene goes, with your band, you made a lot of headway.
Yeah, we
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we hustled. We embraced the work.
So
hung the flyers, sold the tickets. Built up a fan base.
You talk about the fat daddies or whatever. The thing of it is this, and I've thought about this before you came. Is what is successful to you as a band? Some people's success to them is they make a record, they go on touring. Some people, have a limit, so to speak. But, you guys seem to be okay with that.
I've had a lot of years to think about this, and for a while, we're still together, but we're just not as active. We're writing songs, we're putting music out. We may do some shows, we may not, and I'm okay with where it is now. But when we kind of hit that lull after 2011, 12, and we just weren't getting there, we kept banging our head against the wall, and we just kind of decided to kind of go on hiatus for a while. I was pissed. I was really disappointed because I spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. These formative years with my kids. What am I doing with my career? All these things. But we were so close. I was like, there's something here. And so I was pretty bitter about the fact that we didn't, quote unquote, make it. And then my definition of making it was we weren't on a bus touring 250, 300 days a year. We weren't on Ozfest or Mayhem, or we weren't in Europe and all those things. We weren't on a label. But then I look, now that I've had time to reflect, we were pretty successful.
Right.
If you'd have told 14-year-old me that bought his first guitar, dude, by the time you're 40, you're going to have done all of this. You'll have played with Lamb of God multiple times. You'll have opened for Machine Head. You'll have played with Unearth multiple times. All
Wasp.
these bands. Yeah, Wasp. You got the
Testament.
Yeah. Yeah, drank beer with Testament. Drank beer with Machine Head. We got absolutely rip-roaring, tore the place down with the Lamb of God guys, to the point where the City Walk guys come in at 2:30 in the morning. You guys got to get the hell out of here. You're going to get us all thrown in jail. But just the in the big stages and all the shows that, thanks to, relationships we built with guys like you.
So looking back on it, that was successful.
Absolutely. I thought, well, we didn't make it.
That's
Bullshit.
what I'm saying.
We did make it.
Your limit of success, what is successful?
Well, there's levels. You start off in local, then you go to regional.
Are there? And now you look at the scene today. It's like, how many bands could say that you could put 3 bands or 4 bands together and do 800 at the Diamond?
Mm-hmm.
You can put 3 or 4 bands together. And I don't even know if you can do 200 at the Conservatory, and I might be giving you some.
Dude, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen over and over and over again, where Horse can just go away completely for however long they want and decide,
it's time to come back.
Let's play a show. If the offer comes along, let's play a show.
And
the offer come along, and then sure as shit, they'll sell 300 or 400 tickets just right out the gate easily.
But the thing of it is, though, it's not about the band at that point. It's about, they know when they spend their hard-earned money, they're going to an event. They're going to experience an adventure. The fact of the matter is, you may see that person you haven't seen in 10 years, Mm-hmm. Or that might be the show that they need to hear your music. You're just as influential as the next band. They might not be on their playlist, but you have people.
Well, it's important to me. With another reason why I didn't mind selling tickets. We all know, every band knows, selling tickets is hard. It's a pain in the ass. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes gas, all these things. But But at the same time, if you do it the right way and you build relationships and you don't just show up and drop it off and take the money and see, you take time to get to know your fans that come back over and over and over again. Guess what? Now they're telling their other metal friends. And next thing you know, it's not that hard to sell 100, 200 tickets because you've built relationships.
I mean, I've taken a lot of flack for this. The fact of the matter is this. Bands say how hard it is to sell and everything. Well, think about the guy who took a chance on you, or some band that no one knows who they are, but you're going to have these bands play with them. They've taken their hard-earned money, taken their bill money, taken whatever it has to put it out, and making sure word was on the street, making sure you had what money you had, you could buy commercials. Making sure that you had quality production, not just some thrown together PA that barely worked.
And all that doesn't guarantee that anybody will show up.
Right. Or hire roadies to where you truly are a rock star for a day. And, but in any deal, here's what it is, and you do the deal, so my side of the deal was to make sure all that. What I wanted in return was, and I'll say this to the day, if you can't bring 30 people live to watch you play, you might not be doing it right, and you might need to take a better look at it.
You might want to take a different approach.
Right.
Because that is 100% the truth. If you can't bring 30 people, if you can't get 30 ticket-buying patrons to come watch you play, you're not ready to be playing live.
That's exactly right. And back in the day, most of those showcases were $10,
right?
$8, and I'm like, you can't generate $300,
right?
Then go back to practice.
Or you had bands that would come in and give you $500, but to me, that doesn't matter because you're getting the money. But where are the 50 people you just paid for?
Well, and with you say you have 30 people show up, if it's a 4-piece band, do the math. That's only like 8 people per member. If you don't have 8 people that support you and support the band you're in,
but you guys were real good in the scene about being friendly to other bands, helping other bands, playing together. I see it out in the world today. So many bands take it as a competition, take it as, and that's the one thing about the showcases. The showcases, if you had 6 bands on there and each band brought you 40 people, you've had 250 people. If you could walk up another 100, 150, you've did great. But the idea of it is, though, is you don't want to be that last band playing to 8 people because everybody's left or they bought the tickets for nobody to show up.
Well, people used to stay after their favorite band played and watch the other bands, or people would come early. Maybe they wanted to see the headline band, but they would come early to see who the opening acts were.
Well, and here's the thing.
And that's changed.
If Joni and Jill are going and Billy and Joe are out there chasing them, where are you going to be Friday night? Oh, we're going to Diamond to see Horse Called War. Well, guess what? That it didn't, and then it grew into it was a cool thing to do. It was a scene.
The competition part of it is during your set. Let's all build a show together. But I'm going to tell you right now, for me, it was a competition when I got on stage. I want to be the best front man of the night. I'm the biggest dog on the stage that night. I'm the baddest motherfucker in town. Then afterwards, hey, do you guys need help loading out?
Right.
Do you guys need help? Hey, we're short on something for merch or whatever. Right. We all work together.
And also know you gave it your all, but Joe's band over here is killing it, and they're like, damn, next time we play with those guys, we're gonna.
When we started off back in the day, I can remember the first time we played with Forte, and I thought, and I was a bass player back then, and I thought, I got to get a lot fucking better. And so
you were comparing yourself to James?
Yeah. It didn't make me drag my tail between my legs. It made me go home and work.
Right.
And so, if the competition part of it back, when I got to be a singer and all that, I thought, I just want to be the best. It doesn't mean I think the bands around us are not any good or this or that, but I want my band to be the best first, and so we put in the work in that show. Why wouldn't you want to deliver that to the fans? That's what they're there for. They've spent their hard-earned money. You better leave it all out there.
And if you're going through the motions, the fans can tell.
Hell yeah.
But they can also tell when you really are trying to give it your absolute best. And
then that became the thing with nationals. It's like this is the bar now. We have to become this good.
Right.
You think the time we played with Lamb of God and Guar wasn't intimidating as shit. Walking
Especially
out on that
when
stage.
they come out and say, "Oh, by the way, we're only going to give you this much space."
Yeah, I had about a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot square, and whole stage is covered in bisqueen because of Guar.
Because of Guar.
And but dude, you figure out how to make this little area go, and you make connections out in front, and you just make it happen. I can remember. Do you remember the Wasp show? And that big old damn thing on leaf springs.
His Harley. I remember it well.
Mic stand.
It was a hell of a.
It's weird looking.
It was a 8-man pull up, and the other side.
Yeah. So I had
because the stage was so high. The Bricktown Live wasn't so high, but it's still heavy.
I had about 2 feet on this side of that thing, and about 2 feet on the. As we're walking on stage. To play our first song, tour manager goes, "If you fucking touch that, I will kill you." Because Blackie will kill me.
And he plants it, and it don't move.
Right. It's
this is what you got to work with.
Yep.
Kind of like that pole at the Roxy.
Do you remember that show? His assistant. If Mr. Lawless wants to speak to you, he will address you. Please do not even look at Mr. Lawless. And we're like, oh, okay. And he goes back and he goes, I'm not kidding. You guys don't even look down this hallway. Blackie comes in, Raiders jersey, sweatpants. Looks like he hadn't seen sunshine in 6 months.
Probably hadn't.
But boy, man, they were good.
Remember when he had the skunk stripe in his hair? What was that, 84, 85?
Now, this was like, it was right before the resurgence. I thought about this. I booked so many bands like Wasp and things that were faster, that were like, it was over. It was done. But yet, look at them now. They're getting the money truly that I think they deserve. And, for some are still working. And
okay, serious question, Max. How big do you think Typo Negative would be right now if Peter Steele was still alive?
I think they could still play clubs. I don't think they would be an arena band. But I also think this too, which hasn't been done, so to speak, yet, but it's been crossed over a little bit, of how some of these newer type rock bands are taking them, those like Typo, like Pantera did, take Typo on as a resurgence of their career, and as a fact of they're their idols in some bands, and
because that's where we're at right now. Is all these younger bands, it's been 20 years ago. So these are bands that probably their parents listened to when they were babies or kids, and now that influence has come out in their art.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing all over the internet, you got bands that look like kids. What's that band from Tulsa? The Deadbolt?
Eyebolt.
Deadbolt.
They're prime example. Mm-hmm. They live in a world now that was early Def Leppard and, early Iron Maiden and in the Pyromania ages. And, they're trying to sell that now. And, but the hardest thing I would say they have is, you got all these people out there, them young people like that. How do you get through to them without, of this is another genre, this is another way. It's not all rap over here,
Mm-hmm.
or the country way.
Aaron, I was trying to think about all of the national bands that I've seen Horse Called War play with. So there's In This Moment multiple times.
Yep. Even before they became big, we started off doing little shows with them
at the conservatory.
Yeah, and the old Bricktown Live next to the Green Door there on Sheridan.
Right.
God, that was a good venue.
That was an awesome venue.
It's perfect. But anyway, I digress.
All That Remains, Anthrax,
Yep.
Testament,
Machine Head,
like we said, Devil Driver,
Devil Driver.
No, Chimera was Earthshook Run, but I don't know. All those conservatory shows before when this. Yeah, I don't know. That's
Shadows Fall.
Yeah, Shadows. We've been so blessed because again, you guys and taking a chance on us, the relationships we built. That it almost sounds arrogant to say, "Shit." There's so many I can't remember, but there are. I would have to really dig through notes to.
But you know what? The reason why I took a chance on you and worked because you made a team effort, to win at anything. Show business, baseball, football. You got to have a team. Mm-hmm. You don't have a team, you don't got nothing because like my mom said, there's no I in team.
There is not.
I agree.
So, Aaron, let's talk about Horse Called War for just a minute, because you guys have kind of been on hiatus for a little while, but you decided to go back and release the old catalog, so to speak, and so all of that is available on Spotify.
Right. The complete Becoming should be in about a week. We ran into a snag. So it's about 2 weeks behind. Remember, I told you when I was on your show, it should have been out by now. We ran into about a 2 week snag, but I think it's the guy that's mixing and mastering is almost done. Personal snag, things he's got going on in his life. And I said, if we're on no deadline. Anyway, I digress. We decided to release all that. Everything we've ever done should be out in the next couple of weeks. Everything.
All the demos, everything.
All the old catalog stuff. There are a couple of songs that I left off our first EP, didn't put out there just because they're terrible songs. Straight up. There's a couple of the first things we ever wrote, and they're just awful. It's like I look back and record them. Why the hell? What? And I know you always say that shows growth, but it's like it was such a departure from anything else we've done that it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So then, in this process, you guys also wrote a new EP as well.
That's correct. And we covered Painkiller from Judas Priest on there also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm proud of shit of that. It's good. I'm not even trying to boast. It's damn good.
That's a pretty difficult song to take on.
Which one?
Painkiller by Priest.
Huh?
Painkiller by Priest.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You got the drummer?
Yeah, we did session. We don't have a drummer in our band now, so everything's been session. We've got a session guy that...
this is the Painkiller.
That's right. No, we did it in our tuning, which helped. Instead, there's no way I could hit that range in their tuning.
I was about to say, who was holding on to your balls?
So we did it in our tuning, and it took... Go through... 2 at the very beginning of it. Of course, I've wanted to do this song, forever.
Right.
So I've sang this song in my car trying to hit that. So I don't know. It just kind of came together. And
Rob can't hit it anymore.
Yeah, but he hit it back in the day. Hey, Rob Alford can do no wrong.
They say he looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah, have you seen a big old beard on him?
He's got a big long beard.
I'll find out this fall.
So what are your plans now? Because I know that you've been back from Kuwait for a while and you've been working here in the States, but I know that you're going abroad again.
I'm going abroad again. My job...
Not back to Kuwait.
No. Okay. I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Europe now. I've got a job for the Department of Defense, so I can't really say a lot about what I do when I go over there, but it's logistical type stuff.
You're doing something somewhere with some other people.
You got to do some
people, and it'll be great.
And it's it's afforded legendary. It's afforded me some pretty good opportunities of my career and provided me with a pretty good life. It just sucks. Sometimes it sucks to go, but at the same time, it's been very culturally enriching. The Middle East I'm telling you, you got to experience it. You have no idea what it's like until you're there. Those people, the picture we paint of Muslim culture in the United States, for the most part, we couldn't be more wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the main thing that we're wrong about?
That they're not all violent, crazy terrorists. They're not.
That they're just people like the rest
most
of
them
us?
are just very quiet,
Hey, so let me
very
ask you a question.
family-centric.
When you're on these places and everything, have you ever went and experienced any live music venues or anything like that?
In Kuwait, I didn't because they don't have it.
Right.
Rock music is, especially heavy music
It's
like
for
ours,
bands?
it's illegal. Yeah.
That's like that one band I got that one
You
time.
booked them.
Yeah. They were one of 13 dates.
Were they
When
from Iraq or were they from Kuwait? Where were they? I think they were from Iraq.
Yes.
I remember. I know that band. I can't think of what they're called.
Yeah, but Max booked them at Bricktown Live.
Yeah.
In Bricktown.
And they couldn't. Am I right or wrong? They were not allowed to
No,
go
they
back.
were.
Right? They had to stay in
once
the
they
U.S.
left America, they didn't take them back.
Yeah, they had to stay.
I mean, and they were that their music was so underground that they literally, like they would say when they would rehearse, everything would be in one of them bunkers or whatever that no one could know about it. If they threw a show, it was really. I mean,
So what happens if you play rock and roll over there?
I have no idea. I just know.
I know it's illegal. Is it a stoning?
I know.
I wouldn't want to
offense?
find
Yeah,
out.
that's the thing. A lot of their punishments is still very corporal like that. Like
Right.
you get caught stealing.
You lose the hand.
Yeah, these kind of things, rape, stoning. These,
You know,
yeah.
and I mean, and here's the thing. I bet you their theft is lower than what we have here. I think if America took some of those ideas before and did punishments of it, we might have a lot better world than what is shown.
I think if kids had more punishment at home, we'd have a lot better
Right.
world. You know, God, we're going to get into the weeds, aren't we? If we start talking about parenting. But I do plan on seeing as much live music because it'll be a different scenario when I'm in Europe.
Oh yeah.
So
they allow live music
right,
over there.
and I don't. It's not quite as many hours. It won't be quite as. It's not expected to be quite as demanding. So
Right.
I'll be able to travel.
The
and stuff.
crazy part about seeing bands in overseas or in unique places is you realize that they're not far off from you.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
You know,
Right.
I mean, you may not be. This is what I say about Stones concerts. You may not be able to communicate with them, but when you're around that building and it's all about that show, it becomes a whole different way of translating. And you know, it's a great experience.
You know what? If some of these people in these other countries that ban this stuff, if they would let it into their lives, they might loosen up a little bit and not feel the need to fight with everybody. Because you know, how can you fight when you listen to some good music?
Yeah, like Slayer.
Well,
Like what?
Like
Slayer.
Yeah, nothing peaceful like raining blood, right? Put your feet up.
No, it's like
or some ICP with some Fago or
they'd
something.
be marching to
Body count.
south of heaven.
We're gonna have to kind of ease them into that harder stuff. You know.
Back on your question, what is our plan? We're just going to write. I'd like to do shows. We'd like to do shows. It's all got to kind of line up right because I'm in my 50s now.
You're in your 50s?
I am in my 50s.
Oh, you can't rock and roll past 50.
No, but you don't. You got to approach it the right way when you get to this age. If not, you just look like the old guy that's up there trying
You have
hard.
to pace yourself.
Yeah.
And play,
Well, I mean,
play
okay.
appropriate music, too.
You want to be a cool vintage actor, you just want to be one that runs through the motions.
That's right.
You know?
He's not a run-through-the-motions kind of guy.
No.
Hey.
If he would, he'd never got out of
It's hard.
Oklahoma.
Hey, in this day and age, you could be in a band with no originals and call yourself Foreigner.
Or Chelsea Grin's got no originals. Did you know that? I like everything they're doing now, but
In Flames.
no, wow, no kidding. That's
In,
right.
In Flames has no original members
Molly,
At all?
at all.
Wow.
neither does Molly
They
Hatchet.
were just here.
Yeah,
Would they have a crowd?
I think so.
I heard it was good. I
They're
didn't know.
good.
Yeah, great band. All put out great records.
But
throughout the years.
nobody.
No original members left.
Wow.
Isn't Molly Hatchet that way, too?
Yeah.
no-
There's one, but he was on the. It's like you got these bands, take Molly Hatchet. They had their first version, then they had the second version, and then now they've got, I think they're down to the 5th version, but there's one guy in the band that's original, but he didn't come on till Beating the Odds.
How about Skinnerd? There's nobody original.
Skinnerd is
Gary was the last
God
one.
rest their soul. Ronnie Van Zant's still in the band.
What?
He's still in the band. You know why? Because when you go and see Skinnerd, just like when you go and see Foreigner, you know what ticket you bought,
right?
And you're there to feel it.
But Johnny's singing now.
That's Ronnie's brother.
I get it.
It's still them.
Donnie's his brother too.
Yeah, but Donnie don't work.
Yeah, Donnie's not even doing 38 special anymore, is he?
He don't work.
He don't work.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Hey, thank you for listening. It's been my pleasure that we've always been able to maintain a relationship, and you're just as part of this story as myself.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. God, we could do a whole nother episode talking about OU games and things like that.
You are a true Okie.
You got it.
I didn't realize that you'd played at Rock City.
Yeah.
In 92.
Yeah, at the Cult.
Yeah. I was 21 years old.
Let me tell you how I met at the Cult. They wanted me to come to their band rehearsal, which was storage units over here on 27.
Yep.
So I can remember rolling in there.
Into the storage unit.
In a little storage unit. And the drum kit took up most of it.
Funny thing about that band, so they moved, when I joined the band, they had moved over into the Moore Business Park.
Right.
Same place Horse Called War ended up having a rehearsal room at. But the area, if you like our block of rooms, and go around the corner was where Jammers was. First time I ever saw Pantera.
Right.
When you booked him there with the old singer when he was before Dimebag.
When it was Terrence Lee.
Was Diamond
Daryl. Diamond Daryl.
So that was before Kinetics and the Diamond.
Yes.
Yes.
So that would have been 90?
Gosh, no, there's probably 89, maybe 89.
89, 88, 89.
Because Jammers ended up moving from there to 89th and Santa Fe, right across from the police station.
But when they were over there too, I did Armored Saint, that Aerosmith after party.
Didn't you two play at Jammers?
No, they played at Jammies.
Jammies, that's
it was
right.
10th and Meridian.
Jammies,
which
Jammers, two totally different things.
Which was the Roxy.
Right.
Which
has the swimming pool in it. Yeah.
The Beaver Pond.
Did you ever play at the Roxy? Over there off of 10th and MacArthur?
I did, but later on. But the Devil Driver show with Skeleton Witch, the one where you brought Eddie Trunk and accidentally big leaked him. Do you know that story?
No, tell the story.
Eddie's in town for Rocklahoma, I think, and this was supposed to be Horse's last show. And I am...
He was looking for, the thing about then used to, people would call me as well, hey, what's going on tonight? And whether you wanted to or not, they were in town. To me, I've always been able to go there and get them and show them our city, whatever part it could be, whether it be real nice or real seedy. Wherever they wanted to go, we ended up going.
So he brings Eddie to the show. We get off stage, and Max says, hey, come here, I want you to meet somebody. And I'm not really in my head. I've just got off stage. I'm trying to get to merch, to sign and all these things, and go and this guy, who I don't realize at the moment is Eddie Trunk. Hey, man, I've been following you guys for years. Sorry I've never seen you. You have really good show. God, you guys are great. I hate to see it. And I just, okay, man. Thanks for coming. And
thanks, Paulie.
And I bounced. About 2 hours later, it's the end of the night. Max comes rolling up. He goes, you dumbass. And I'm like, what? He goes,
that's Eddie Trunk.
That was Eddie Trunk, you dumbass. And I was like, oh my God.
Shit, I thought it was Paulie Shore.
But he said, he laughed it off. Eddie laughed it off. He goes, he had no idea who I was, did he? No, I don't think so. Whoops.
You weren't starstruck at all, were you?
No.
So did you realize that
no security needed?
That's right.
So did you realize that there was a swimming pool under that stage when you were playing?
Not then. I found out years later that, and that's why that big.
You never asked why the pool was there?
No, I never did. I just thought it was silly that it was there.
Hey, Motley Crue played on that stage.
They did.
So
But
did
with
Molly
the
Hatchet.
did
that was with John
Vince
Crosby,
Neil.
right?
Yeah, with John Crosby.
Yeah.
I
And
was
then
at
Vince
that show.
Neil played there like 2 months, 3 months later.
Yep.
There
The
was
big
actually some-
Nixon's Got Signed show was there. And,
Right.
Man, those guys were good back in the day.
And probably,
Holy shit.
probably the best Kansas,
remember
Kansas
who-
show I ever saw was there.
I remember a Life of Agony show there that was incredible.
I remember.
That was one of your bands. That was one you really
I love
dug.
that band.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been playing around, but yeah, I love that band.
Does the singer sound the same since their transition?
I think so. I know all these hardcore kids. The crazy part about that band is all these hardcore bands that I've listened to, that Little Ron them's turned me on to. It's them. It's Life of Agony. And then I told him one day, you need to listen to this band. Like, wow.
What did he say?
He used to tell me, this band is like Life of Agony. Once he learned,
What Life Agony sounded
Right.
like.
Love to Let You Down. That's one of the best songs ever written. Yeah, it's a good song.
Well,
I love
guys,
their version of Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah, that's damn good too.
Remember like back in the day, all them Roadrunner bands made, that guy, one was a Fear Factory did Cars.
Yep. They were all for movie soundtracks
Yes.
originally. You know what I watched the other day?
What?
That Roadrunner United concert. Do you remember the Roadrunner United
Right.
record where they did a concert and they produced a record
For all
to go
Roadrunner
with
bands?
it?
It was 2 or 3 bands combined to write a song. Members from different bands
Yep.
on Roadrunner. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like each song was a different super group of members from Roadrunner bands.
Oh, wow.
You don't remember that? I think I
it'd
bought
be-
that CD at your store.
It'd be a singer from one band, a drummer from another band, a guitar player from another band, and then they did a concert and they filmed it where they all did it live, and it was the first time that Jesse Leach and Howard Jones came out on stage together
With Killswitch?
and did a song
Wow.
together.
Nice.
How about that?
Well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Oh, Aaron,
you.
one more question.
Yeah.
Did you ever get your Here's the Deal shirt?
I did. I
okay.
got it a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah.
We've been saying for years we're going to
Yeah,
give you
I
one.
did.
So.
Yeah, Jay gave it to me a couple weeks ago. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Here's the deal, OK.com. That's where you can find all of our episodes, the YouTube channel link, as well as if you want to bug Max to find out how you can get a Here's the Deal podcast t-shirt.
And how about a Horse Called War?
HorseCalledWar.com. We also bought a HorseCalledWar.com and linked it back to us. HorseCalledWar.com, HorseCalledWarOfficial.com, HorseCalledWar.com. If you go there, our homepage has social buttons all down below. You can follow every
Like
single
and
platform.
subscribe.
Yeah, come see us. Listen.
The Here's the Deal podcast, sponsored by MedCards Made Easy and the Fabulous Baker Boys. Hosted by Jay Ramone and Max Baker Jr. Produced, engineered, and fact-checked by Josh Lupton and Jeff Browning. Subscribe to the Here's the Deal podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.